I'm one of these horrible people that have no problem writing a list of all this very serious problems that can develop in the future in response to an advanced technological age, such as, letting the cat out of the bag with extreme prosperity all over the world and creating a baby boom on steroids, which truly gives birth to a Malthusian problem. Make no mistake, that can happen easily. The risk of high-tech terrorism, which is an incredibly serious risk when only a small number of people can do untold damage with cheaper and easier to access technology and technologies that can be rapidly developed even on the prototyping stage with virtual prototyping, etc. And the risk of massive overconsumption as everybody demands a mansion, etc., going on and on in the next decades. For those of us who understand how economics and technology works and its true status and potential today. There is an argument for creating a kind of a one world China to help deal with what could be extremely serious global problems developing in the soon-to-be future. That's logical and fair. Now, I don't believe for a second that this is not well and truly understood by the long-range modelling of the people that we call deep states, probably rooted in the military, because that's where the greatest power is. It's not in corporates. That's soft power. Real power is the ability to kill anyone you want and take nations to wars. That is power. I have no doubt that they are aware of these problems, should I say, and are doing their best in their way to build an infrastructure, again, I'm repeating myself, akin to a one world China. There's only one great problem with that. Even if in some kind of giant global control system, you've got wonderful, best of intention people who are very intelligent, very wise, at the top of the game, the risk of them being replaced by, can I speak plainly, wankers and dickheads who are more ambitious than competent in the levels, well, the ways that we want them to be competent, is incredibly high. It tends to happen. Now, what happens when the powers that be, and we'll be generous, we'll assume that they're lovely people, okay? What happens when they get replaced by those ones and they inherit a control system which is so advanced that fighting against a leadership gone rogue becomes virtually impossible for the people? What happens then? Then we go, oh shit, Houston, we have the mother of all problems. That is the great danger, and that is why you must have ultimately democratic accountability to some kind of world government if that's where we're going. This is what should worry all of us, including the people in power at the top of the game. In my opinion, we've got to preserve a democratic dynamic. Now, we don't give the vote to people under the age of 18, and for good reason. They don't know, the kids don't know what they don't know, and they will not make a reasonable, informed decision. The truth is, you could apply that same simple truth to at least half the adult population as well. They are ignorant, willfully ignorant, and often they vote like, sorry, I'm going to say it, pigs, because they don't vote in terms of what is the right thing to do, what is correct, how should our democracy be, but instead they vote for personal interest. And that's how you vote like a pig, not a citizen. But the fact of the matter is, without meaning to get too judgmental on people, that is how too many people roll. And when we vote like that, when we vote purely on self-interest and just believe what we want to believe to the end of meeting that self-interest, we legitimize a controlling elite because, we're kind of just as bad. And because of that, I think we need to turn the page and improve our democracies by understanding that when people vote, they don't just vote for themselves, they vote for everybody else. And because of that, everybody else should have the right to lay down a basic condition, just like we do crudely with the age thing, that people have to do a bit of like everyone should have the right to vote and have the potential to vote, but they should have to do a bit of homework first and pass a preliminary course on, just macroeconomics. It's not hard. Not, a horribly nerdy course that would drive anyone insane with dry tedium, but, macroeconomics, politics, socialism, capitalism, the arguments around it, etc., to perform two functions. One is to relieve them of the grossest form of ignorance, and the other is to demonstrate that they take the act of voting seriously. Serious enough to put up with this course, which is going to take a little bit of online working at home, so that they can cast a mature vote from a mature position. If we can create a democratic elite in that sense, then I think that will be the right balance to hold any kind of world government to account, to protect us from the threat of a world government, if we get one in some form, going rogue. It must be accountable to the people. Not because the people are always right, so often they're wrong, but because you simply have to have it for security, because when you've got a world, again to repeat myself, run by an elite that absolutely believes it knows best, and it gets replaced with sociopaths, and you're in a position with the architecture, the technological architecture, which makes opposition impossible, then that's a bit of a political apocalypse right there. We don't want that. We must fight for so to speak, a democratic elite, not a autocratic elite. Thank you.